Hello, Internet. This is Jason, once again at Rolling Intentions. I am today not doing any RPGs. No, I'm not. I am playing the Lord of the Rings card game, the LCG, made by Fantasy Flight. I really love this game. I've made a couple of test episodes, at least one made it on the air, and I'm going to play a game for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to take it a little slow. People have been asking me to kind of narrate what I'm doing and stuff. And, to be completely honest, I've been having some bad luck lately with Octagon. I'm currently using the Google Hangout tool, using screen share to get all this working, and it so far hasn't been working the best for me. I've been kicked out of the game a couple of times by Octagon, but whatever. It is a really cool program. It lets you play a bunch of different card games, board games, and etc. Today we're going to be playing the Lord of the Rings card game. There is a bit of a setup involved to get this working, but it is totally worth it. So the decks that I'm going to be playing today, you probably have seen it a dozen times already. It is part of your core set. It is a Patches Through Mirkwood. It is the first set usually that everybody plays. It is scored at a difficulty of 1, which really doesn't correspond to anything, because sometimes it can be pretty nasty, especially since the stuff that it does is very damaging, very damage-oriented threats and treacheries. But it does have some things that redeem it, like certain locations. But anyways, we're going to get there, and I'm going to slowly go through this so I can explain what's going on. I'll try not to bore you all. All right, so here we go. First of all, what I'm going to do is load up the actual deck here. The one I'm going to be playing, so it's going to be the Patches Through Mirkwood. So essentially, the Patches Through Mirkwood is, it says what it is, right? So basically, it's Patches Through Mirkwood. Flies and Spiders is the first part of the quest. It is 1A. So this is one side of the card, and it just gives you a little synopsis story, right? So while you're traveling through the Mirkwood Forest, carry an urgent message for King Tereldil, anyways, whatever, to the Lady Galadriel of Leorin. As you move through the dark trail, spiders gather around you. So that's sort of where we start off. Now, there is a couple pamphlets you get with the game, which kind of explain a little bit more detail in the story-wise. But hey, this is good for me right now. So at the very beginning of the game, what you're going to do is search for the first copy of that you can find in the encounter deck. So encounter deck is a separate deck that comes with the game. For Forest Spider and a copy of Old Forest Road. You're going to pop them into play, then shuffle the deck. Oh, look at that. It's already done for me, so that's pretty awesome. So before we go to the next thing, which is going to be flipping this card over to 1B, I'm going to load up the deck that I'm going to play. So I'm going to be playing a deck that I'm going to have in the show notes below this video and below in our website. And I'm going to be playing what I like to call the March of the Elves. Now, I actually have 4 decks, and this is one of the decks I use in real life. So it may not be perfect because I don't have all the cards yet. I do have a lot, though, saying that. This one works fairly well, more so than the other ones. This is really one of my main decks. So I have 4 main decks, and this happens to be the one that I like the most. So this is going to be kind of a progression series that I'm going to try to make. I don't know how often we put these out. Whenever I feel like I can do it, or I want to play this game on Octagon. So I'm going to bring you through quest by quest by quest. Hopefully I can get through as many as possible. And there are a ton of quests, a ton of quests. So we'll see what happens. Also, in other news, before it begins starting up here, I just do a little bit of a chatty chat to you guys. Me and a friend of mine, Devin, are in the making of making a narrative-based, thematic sort of game gameplay for this for the Lord of the Rings LCG. So all that means it's nothing really that special, I suppose. It means that we're going to make decks that are more thematic based on the scenario. So we're going to read kind of like the history of the scenario and pick out characters that would make sense about who would be going to this, and then a deck that kind of revolves around that sort of idea. So one idea that we thrown out there was about there was a quest called the Steward Sphere, where there's Steward of Gondor, which I guess in our minds, for the most part, that is Denethor. We were thinking about doing the brothers. Each of us have a brother and of Gondor, and make a Gondor deck. I don't know how it's going to work out. So the decks probably won't be all that great as regards for mechanics, but we'll be doing it thematic-wise. And while we play, we're going to be narrating their actions and whatnot. So it's going to be a narrative experience. It's going to be quite different. In this one, I'm going to be doing more mechanics, more just talking about stuff, and a lot of talking, actually. And this is my second recording for this first episode. Because OCGN decided to kick me out of my own game, and we are playing solo, but it's still connected to the internet, and I don't know what happened. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to continue on with this. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you the heroes. So these are heroes. You get these at the start of the game, and you can have up to 3. So you can have 2 or 1 if you wish, but it's not recommended. So this guy got 10 threat, 1 willpower, 3 attack, 2 defense, 4 hit points. He's a Rohan noble warrior. He's a Aylmer, which is his name, and he is unique, obviously. His response, so basically this response happens whenever something happens. You can trigger this. After a character leaves play, Aylmer has a +2 attack, until the end of the round. I can only use it once per round. I used to use this multiple times. It was very good times when I did it, but I did skip over that once per round, so it is definitely embedded in my brain right now. The next thing is Galadriel. She has 9 threat, 4 willpower, 4 hit points, and everything else is 0, so no attack, no defense. She's an Noldor noble. It's Galadriel, unique, of course. And Galadriel cannot commit to a quest, attack, or defense. She kind of just sits there for a while. However, allies that you control when these first come into play, of course, or first get in, well, we'll just read it out, I suppose. Allies you control do not exhaust to commit to a quest during the round they come into play. So they pop into play, and they just kind of they don't commit to a quest. That's pretty cool. She does have an action as well, which is also amazing. Galadriel, you choose a player, which is going to be myself. That player reduces their threat by 1 and draws a card, limit once per round. So that's going to be awesome for me. I'm going to be drawing a bunch of cards if I can. I mean, not every turn, but over the course of the game, and keep my threat low, as low as possible. So I might hover around 30 for a while, and then yeah, we'll see what happens after that. I'm hoping to go lower. And there's a Celeborn. Celeborn is pretty awesome. Is 11 threat, 3 willpower, 2 attack, 2 defense, 4 hit points. It's a Sylvan noble leadership hero. I guess this is spirit, and this is tactics. That's the red and the blue, and this is the purple. He has a response of when a Sylvan ally enters play, they get +1 willpower, +1 attack, +1 defense, and until the end of the round. So these kind of combo together, and then when they leave play, either through effects that I have in my hand or die, he gets bigger as well. So it's kind of all thematic, kind of all works together. There's a bit of gameplay. Now, in saying this, there are different resources, so that means that I can only spend very little at the beginning. I don't have a lot of resource generation in this deck, so everything costs really low. So I'm hoping that stays that way. So he can only spend resources on tactics. She can only spend resources on spirit, and he can only spend resources on leadership cards. So they'll all have that little symbol and that's in the bottom left corner on the cards, and that's what you use to spend your resources. At the moment, they have none because we haven't started the game yet. All right, down here in my hand, I get to choose whether I want to mulligan first before I decide to draw the next card. So you start off with 6 cards, and you get the 7th one afterwards. So I start off with 30 threats. If you add up their threat totals, it equals 30. So 10, 9, 11. Let's say up in the corner. Generally speaking, their threat usually equals the amount of stat points they have. In this case, it is not true. She only has 8 in the stats and 9 threat, but her ability makes up for it. At least I hope so. What we got here, we got her ring. So this is Galadriel's ring. It's an artifact ring, cost of 1. It is a neutral card, meaning that anybody can pay for it. I can attach it to Galadriel. She gets a lore icon, so that's a ring card. We haven't seen it yet. But it has the lore card symbol, so she becomes kind of like a dual sphere, I guess. Quest action, so when questing happens, I can exhaust this card, so the ring, and Galadriel to add her questing powers, or her willpower, to another character's willpower until the end of the turn. So basically, she helps buff somebody up when questing, which could be very useful. We got Stand and Fight. So Stand and Fight is a Wicked card. It costs X. So it's an event card, which means just get a one-shot. It goes into the discard after it's used. Action, choose an ally with a printed cost of X in any player's discard pile. Put that ally into play under your control. And of course, in brackets, it says the chosen ally can belong to any sphere of influence. Now, it's a little ambiguous, but you can't choose anything that doesn't have a sphere. So if you had the Gandalf or a neutral card, you can't use Stand and Fight to bring back a neutral ally, just an ally that's in a sphere. I think it's crap. I mean, it's a good card, but I think that wording is really crap, because technically neutral could still be sort of a sphere. I mean, it's not exactly a sphere, but, you know, it's, I don't know. When you read this, I mean, you can almost skip the what's in the brackets, but I guess not in this case. It's a good card, though. Just I kind of wish you can get neutral characters. Anyways, so the next one is a Sylvan Ally. So it's a cost of 2, so it's going to be 2 tactics resources, a 0 willpower, so she's not going to contribute to any questing, which we're going to get to. 2 attack, for good for beating up some enemies. 0 defense, not very good defending, and 1 hit point, kind of weak. It's Galadon's Archer. Don't know how to pronounce that. It is a tactics ally, Sylvan Warrior with a ranged ability. Range means that she can attack. If I had another player here who can, you know, help me out, if they were engaged with an enemy and having a hard time, I can use her to kind of shoot an arrow over and do some damage to an enemy attacking them. Otherwise, you can only usually deal with ones that are attacking you. So after she comes into play, I can trigger her response, which means that it deals 1 damage to each character not engaged with me. So anybody in the staging area or engaged with other players, she does some damage to them. This is a Wicked card. This is another event. It is Sneak Attack. It costs 1, and it's a tactics card. Action, put 1 ally card into play from your hand. At the end of the phase, that ally is returned. If the ally is still in play, it returns to your hand. So essentially, if I want to use it for questing during the quest phase, I can bounce somebody in and they'll come back. If I want to do it there for attack or defense or whatever, in the combat phase, I can bounce somebody in and bounce them back. I can even do it during the resource and refresh phase if I want to do any shenanigans, because there's a bunch of different, you know, phases and such. And this is Elrond's Council. It's a 0 cost card. So with 0 cost cards, all you have to do is have a hero, or, you know, well, yeah, have a hero with the printed resource icon. In this case, it's Spirit. And you can play this card for free, which is pretty awesome. Action, choose a unique Noldor character. In this case, the only Noldor character I have is Galadriel. Give that character +1 questing, and at the end of phase, lower your threat by 1. Now, I do have other unique Noldors in this deck, because you can have them as allies as well, but I can give her +1 willpower, and you know what? It might work. Might work, yeah. Well, she has this to throw her willpower on someone else, so, you know, it's helpful. And then -3 threat means really good. Once you hit 50 threat, the game is over, and threat's kind of important for engagement. We'll get to that. And yes, the last thing is I have in my hands Galadriel's Handmaiden. Hello, and she is a 2-cost Spirit ally. She's a Sylvan, as you can probably guess. There's a lot of Sylvans in this deck. It is a Sylvan deck, and it is 2 willpower, 0 attack, 1 defense, 1 hit point. Also very weak. I'm thinking about putting in another card in this deck. I'm still thinking about it. We'll get there. Response, after she comes into play, so after Galadriel's Handmaiden enters play, choose a player. That'll be me. That player reduces their threat by 1. So lots of in-player events and whatnot. I'm going to see if I want to keep this. It isn't all that helpful, but it could be helpful later. So I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to take a look up here what we got going on. So this is the things that came into play automatically. This is a 4 spider with 25 engagement cost. So 25 engagement means if my threat's higher than 25, it's going to engage me whether I want to or not. If it's higher, so if my threat was lower than 25, I can optionally engage one enemy from the staging area. In this case, this could be one of the ones I optionally engage, but in this case, it's going to attack me regardless, unless I can get my threat lowered. It has two threat, 2 attack, 1 defense, and 4 hit points. So the threat's going to go against me for questing, which we'll get to. So 4 spider is a creature spider. Forced, when it engages the player, it gets +1 attack. So when it gets closer to me, when I start to fight it, it's going to get +1 attack the moment that it comes against me, but it'll go back down to 2 after that. The shadow effect's not going to affect me unless I draw it as a shadow card, and that only happens during attack, which we'll get to. And the next thing is the Old Forest Road, which is 1 threat. So in this case, it's a total of 3 threat in the staging area. That's that little thing with the little spiky dude. It's got 3 progress tokens. So when I make it an active location, so I throw that over here when I'm questing to it. I only need 3 progress tokens, and we'll get to that. And that'll be explored. It is a forced in response when I travel to it during the travel phase. The first, well, actually, I guess any time, but anyways, when I do travel to it, the first player, which is going to be me, I'm going to be the first player forever, readies 1 character he controls. I guess he or she, but whatever. He controls. So we're going to continue on and start playing this game. So first thing I'm going to do is go to the next round right here. I don't know all the hotkeys, so bear with me. And I'm going to flip this card over. Okay, that's a lucky draw. So there's a bit of a combo going on here. And I'm probably going to use that pretty early because I do have 3 Gandalfs. So Gandalf, neutral card, I mentioned it before, briefly with regards to Stand a Fight. Cannot bring him back. Stand a Fight does not have an icon. Resource icon, but anyways, he costs 5 to put out generally. He's got a wicked stats 4, 4, 4, and 4, better than any other hero you can ever get. Well, at the moment that I'm aware of, he's a starry and he's unique, so you can only have 1 Gandalf out at a time. That includes all players, by the way. So nobody can have any other unique characters or even like unique attachments except for 1 person. So it's really, really important that people organize their decks with their partners. Anyways, I'm playing by myself because I don't have any friends. So continue on. At the end of the round, discard Gandalf and play. Bummer. But anyways, his response is awesome. After he enters play, you get to choose 1, draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or reduce your threat by 5. He's an ally. And wicked. So in this case, you know what? I could have quested for a whole crap. I can make this game go really quick. I'm curious if I should do that. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to actually pay 1 off of Aylmer here. So 1 resource, and I'm gonna put the ring down on Galadriel. So I paid 1 tactics resource to pay for a neutral card. It's now down on Galadriel. Now she has the ability of a lower resource icon. She has 2 icons at the moment. A little book for green, and she has a blue. And I can exhaust her now and the ring to add their questing power to someone else, which kind of works with this card here. Okay. So I think that's all I'm going to do because I got some other stuff I want to do. So we're going to get to questing. So with questing, I'm going to start the questing phase, and I'm going to get ready to pay some monies. So I'm going to pay that 1 off of Celeborn here, which will bring him down to 0. I'm going to use Sneak Attack really early in the game, just because I'm kind of impatient. And I'm going to drop down Gandalf. Now I got a bunch of different things I could do for Gandalf. But in this case, this goes to discard. I'm going to use it to draw cards because card draw in this game is awesome. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. That's one of his abilities. And I got a bunch of stuff. Cool. Another Sneak Attack. Jeez. Anyways, I get double Sneak Attack again. Holy crap. All right, cool. Anyways, so he's out there right now, just chilling like a villain. I'm going to use Elrond's Council down on Galadriel, giving her a +1 willpower and lowering my threat by 3. So that's unos, dos, tres. And then this gets discarded because it is an event. All right, so far so good. We got a bunch of other cards here. We got a Sylvan Defender. We'll get to that. And we got Fainted Voices, which is an amazing event. We'll get to that. I can't really use it at the moment, but it's still really good. So if we look at what we got going on here, so we got Gandalf, who doesn't have to, I guess, exhaust to commit to a quest. Not that it really matters, because I just sneak attacked him in, so he's not going to be all that useful, except for questing at the moment, because I'm going to quest the crap out of this for fun and see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and quest with him, so he'll be questing. Because he's not, I guess, exhausting the quest, we're going to just throw a token on him. In this case, I'm going to throw like a willpower token on him. It's not what it's intended for, I don't think, but at least we know he's questing. Okay, he's also questing, so questing requires exhaustion generally, so he'll be questing as well. And you know, I don't really know about the timing. Sometimes people tell me that you can actually quest with her after you see the cards pop up, and there's like a time and period between that for an action window. I don't really know if that's 100%, but I'm gonna just kneel her just in case, so I don't look like an idiot on the rest of the internet. So we're going to add in that +5. So it'll be 5 from her. Add it to, let's say, this guy here, Celeborn. And +4. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 questing power, like right off the hop. That's madness. Madness. All right, so we're going to come in for 12. So the first next thing we do now is reveal a card based on how many players there are. It's just me, so just one card. We have a Treachery. So a Treachery is more like an event out of the encounter card. So Driven by Shadow is when revealed. So revealed when it pops off the top, and we have to reveal it off the deck. Each enemy in each location gets +1 threat till end of turn. Oh no's! And if there is no cards in the staging area, this thing gets Driven by Shadow gets Surge. So Surge means that you draw another card off the top. But because there's items in there, well, not items, but locations and enemies, we don't have to worry about that, so that just goes away. It's really weird. I wonder if there's like if there's a trap in the staging area, does that mean that that doesn't gain Surge, even if it's just a trap? Weird. Anyways, we're going to discard that, so everything else gets +1. So we're looking at a threat of 3 and a threat of 2. So that's 5. So that's exactly what she contributed. So that's still 3 and a 4. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 points goes on this here. So that's basically the current quest. So this might be really quick. And we're going to travel. So we get to choose to travel to a location. We're going to travel to Old Forest Road, because why not? It is a good place to travel to. When you travel to Old Forest Road, I get to ready characters, so I get to stand one back up. So there is a couple of things I can do here. So actually, now that the questing's over, he comes back to my hand because of what's Sneak Attack's ability. So yeah, I get to choose here. So, you know, he's going to come down and attack me. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. But is it a really big deal right now? So, because he's kind of bumped up. So maybe what I want to do is ready Celeborn, even though readying her is actually not a bad idea either. But essentially, I want to ready him. Because he's pumped up right now. He's got a 5 attack because Gandalf came in and left. So he gets that +2. Cool. So here he comes. So we're going to do engagement next. So here comes the spider down. I'm going to optionally engage him for fun, and he gets 3 attacks. So we're going to defend. We're going to defend his 3 attack with Celeborn, which could end up being bad. We'll see. He has 2 defense, so there's at least going to be 1 attack coming through, but we're going to see what the encounter card says. So look at that. There's no shadow effect on it, so I do have to reveal a shadow card when the enemy attacks. And there is no shadow card on it. It's just a bunch of like little stuff and the victory points. The victory points you don't need to worry about yet, because I ain't getting none yet, I don't think, this game. So he goes away, and he deals 1 damage to my hero. Guys, at 3 minus 2 is 1. So let's go ahead and throw a damage on him. That's a damage token. So once damage tokens equals hit points, that character is dead. Just discard it to the discard pile. All right, cool. Well, anyways, Aylmer's got 5 attack, so let's whip out 5 attack now that all the defense is done, and that will kill him. That'll be 5 minus 1 equals 4. 4 damage goes on him, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's dead as a doornail. Boom. What the heck? Anyways, for some reason, delete the tokens. Boom. Dead. That's the end of that round. So we're going to go to the next round, which raises a threat by 1, and you draw a card, and everybody gets 1 resource. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So the next thing, we got a whole bunch of cards now because we used Gandalf earlier to draw a bunch. So let's see what we want to do. We got 4 resources, so a little extra. And yeah, we're doing really well for questing. So why don't we just do some shenanigans that I like doing. But how are we going to do that? That's really the question here. Well, one character I really like is well, there's a couple I really like. Really, there is a card I want to fish out here, but I haven't got any good luck. So I'm going to save that resource of him because I need to sneak attack Gandalf in again. So we're going to spend those 2 resources off Galadriel. 1, 2. And throw in this Handmaiden. So this Handmaiden reduces my threat by 1. Boop. Back down to 27. And she gets +1 to all of her stats, making her a 3-1-2, which is pretty good. So 1 hit point. And she doesn't kneel to quest this phase. So she's a free quester. That's nice. As for everything else, I'm just going to keep it there. That's really all I got to do. So let's not worry about it. All right, so let's go quest, shall we? So we're going to quest with Celeborn, and we're going to quest with the Handmaiden. Once again, we're adding a token just to show she's questing. And yeah, we're gonna quest with her. We're not gonna quest with her. You know, it's too much. It's too much. Too many questings. We got 3. We got 6. You know, that's good enough. I'm happy with that. Probably going to use it to draw cards at the moment. And we're going to reveal a card off the top here. We've got the Forest Spider. Oh, look, another one returned. But anyways, you got 2 threats, so that's all it is. There's no real when revealed abilities, so we're going to calculate that up. So that'll be 2. 2 in this case against 6 means that we're going to get this quest over with. So let's see. So 2 and 6, that means 4. So that's 4 on this. 1, 2, 3. So that goes away after there's 3 tokens on it. And 1, I keep doing that. And 1 will go on here, which will finish it. So we're going to go to quest 2, Fork in the Road. Passes through Mirkwood. As you move through the Mirkwood, hounded by spiders, the forest path forks before you. So Fork in the Road. As you can kind of figure, there's a couple paths to go. Unsure of what lies ahead, but spurred by the urgency of your message, you choose a path and proceed. So at the moment, it's just a forced effect. When you defeat the stage, you get to choose between 2 paths at random, which we'll get to. There's a little trick you got to do with this thing to make it work. And it's only got 2 progress tokens, so it doesn't take very much to get to the next area. Needless to say, what I'm going to do here is, even though we're still in the questing phase, we're just going to kneel or exhaust Galadriel so I can get that reduction in threat and a card for free. Yeah, take a quick look here at my oops, I collapsed it. I'm just gonna take a quick look here at my discard. So I got no allies in there, so this is nothing. Okay, so fair enough. I'm gonna remove that token now, just so she's not in a quest anymore. Not committed. And yeah, so we're gonna optionally engage. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna optionally engage this guy. Yes, why not? We're gonna optionally engage him. So here he comes. He's pretty strong. He's got 3 attack. My dude right here only has 2 defense, so if I were to attack, he's going to get hurt. However, I get an option of defending with my allies. Now, this ally right now is got a +1 to all her stats, so she's got 2 defense and 1 hit point. which means she's probably going to die if I don't do something. And she's probably going to die because I got some other stuff to do. I can always bring her back. So yeah, I'm going to kneel her to defend. So it'll be 3 attack going against this girl. She's going to die, but let's find out what the shadow card is. It's nothing. It's no shadow effect, so that just goes away, and that's a really good location to get. Anyways, whatever. So she dies. So it goes to the discard pile. Bye. And he gets bumped up to a 5. So now it's my turn to attack since all the attackers went. It's my turn to attack. So all the enemies have to attack first. Then you have to defend against all those attacks. Then you can attack back after all the enemies have defended. That includes all the other players too. So I'm going to attack back for a whopping 5 because the character left play, and that would kill it. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 damage on him because it'd be 5 minus 1, and he'll die. Poof, gone. We're ready for the next round. Let's go to the next round. Raise your threat by 1 and get all the other resources. Cool beans. Got that again. All right. So in this case, I got some money to play with at this point, and a lot of cards down here. But let's see what we're going to do here. You know what? So I got a lot of stuff I can do, and I'm trying to decide what I want. In this case, you know what I'm going to do is we're going to bring in her. She's really cool. I know she's going to cost me a bit. Cost me 2 resources of this guy, and I'm not able to sneak attack Gandalf in a hitch, whatever. But I'm okay with that. So with her, she's a guide. She's a ninth guide. Is 2 costs. Is a leadership card with a 1 willpower, 1 attack, a 0 defense, 1 hit point. She's a Sylvan Scout. When she enters play as her response, I get to choose a hero. That hero does not exhaust during this round 2 quests. So I'm going to choose Silverborn. He won't be kneeling this turn, and neither will she. And she'll be also a 2/2/1 in stats. So that's kind of cool. Next is I'm going to choose somebody else, maybe. Yes, I am. So I'm going to choose her as well. So she is going to cost 3 neutral, so I get to choose whatever I want. So I'm going to choose off these people. And she's a 3 cost not neutral ally with a 0 willpower, 1 attack, 2 defense, 2 hit points. One of the Sylvans that have 2 hit points is pretty cool. Defender of Neth and Ninth. Sylvan Warrior. Sentinel means that I can defend with her instead of if there was other players involved. She can defend for other players' sake, which is kind of cool. She's an ally. Response: after a Sylvan ally you control leaves play, ready her. So I can do some shenanigans. You'll find out with her, and she can defend a whole bunch of people. Really neat. At the moment, of course, she has 1 quest. 1 willpower, 2 attack, 3 defense. So that's 2 hit points. But hey, you know what? She can commit to a quest and not have to worry about kneeling. Exhausting. That's awesome. So we're going to continue on here because we're getting long on the podcast already. So we got nothing in the staging area, so nothing to really fret about. So he doesn't kneel because of her. So we're going to throw a token on him. Just so we can see what's going on here. Willpower token. Right. She isn't kneeling. Sorry, or exhausting. So we're gonna throw a token on her too. And she isn't exhausting either. So we're gonna throw another token. Willpower tokens all around. Now with her, I'm not gonna bother because it's only 2 quest tokens. I'm not too worried about it. So let's find out what the next card is. Revealing at the top. I kind of figured that might happen. All right, so what we got is Nulgor Orcs. Dulgor Orcs. It is a 10 engagement cost with 2 threat, 2 attack, 0 defense, and 3 hit points. When revealed, I have to choose a character currently committed to a quest, which is 3 of them. Deal 2 damage to that character. So the only one that can survive an attack like that would be Celeborn. The rest of them would die. I don't really want one of my other characters to die at the moment. So you know what? I'm going to put damage on him. There's ways to get it back, so let's hope he doesn't die in the next turn. But anyways, all right, so putting damage on him. Oops, what did I just do? Took away a resource, did I? He didn't have any resources on him, did he? Anyways, so we're going to put some stuff on him. So we're going to put some damage. Boom, boom. So 2 damage goes on Sylvan. So it doesn't really stop him from questing. So we still got a big load of quests coming through. So that's 2 minus 3, which is 1. So we got 1 from him. We've got 2 from her, and we've got 1 for her. So that's really, we got 4 over. So that's going to finish this quest off and take us to the next spot. It's going to be Chosen Path. And we're going to look in here. So here's the other little trick. So if you go to global, you get to look at your encounter stuff here. In this case, we got to choose one at random. So here's the 2 quests here. The top one and the bottom one, they're 2 different ones. And you know what? We're going to just flip a coin. Heads is going to be the one on top. Tails is going to be one on the bottom. And we're going to go with that one. It's tails. So this one goes bye-bye. And we're going to take this one. This will be the active quest now. So as you can see here, the trail winds into the darkest, most tangled parts of the forest. You sense a foul presence hunting you, and you move quickly in the attempt to avoid its evil. So we're going to flip that card over. And it's Moron's path. So it's a more safer path. You attempt to follow a secret hidden trail to avoid the enemy. Hurrah! Players cannot defeat the stage while Ugaldian Spawn, sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing, is in play. If the players defeat this stage, you have won the game. Hurrah! That's what I want. There is 10 progress tokens, so that's really all there is to it. So we've already quested. We're now in an engagement, so we're going to have to engage this guy. I'm going to option engage him. It doesn't really matter. He's coming towards me anyways. So here we are. We got a 2 attacker. He's going to do some damage to me. Once again, the shadow effect's not really a big deal. So what am I going to do? Well, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is defend with my big defender here. She has 3 defense at the moment because of his ability. So why wouldn't I? Actually, you know what? Before we even do that, I'm going to use her ability. She's kind of just sitting there with nothing to do. So I'm going to use her ability to reduce my threat by 1 and draw a card. It's always good. There we go. And then we got a guide who's going to help us with questing. Not that we need at the moment. And we're going to defend. So we're going to defend with the... we're going to remove these tokens here. God, what is the removing here? Control-Shift-1. All right. All right. So we're going to defend here with the Defender of North and Ninth. Anyways, we're going to get a reveal, a shadow card here. Boom. Shadow card. No shadow effects. So nothing's going to happen. It's going to 2 defense, 3 defense off of 2 attack equals -1, so no damage. So now we get to attack back. So it's just a straight up 3. Yeah, fine, whatever. He's doing his job. He's doing his work, man. He's just like slaughtering after another. So nonchalant. Wow. All right, and dead. So this is so far been turning out pretty easy. Nothing else in play that's going on, so we're going to have to go to the next round. Unexpected courage. Very nice. Okay. There's not a whole lot happening here. This game could be over in a second. And you know what? I'm going to try and finish this game right now. So we're going to... Yep. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to skip right to questing. Now, this card's really cool. It's kind of like a feint. A feint allows you to kind of... stop a character from attacking you, but this one has an extra cost, right? It is 0 to use, but what's really cool is because it's 0 and all I gotta do is bounce back a hero, bounce back a Sylvan Ally. It's kind of like really cheap and it helps the deck kind of move quickly because every time I put something into play, it gets stronger. So it's really neat. But anyways, you're not going to really see that card because that's probably not going to be any use at the moment, as I'm doing very well at this particular quest, better than my test one that crashed on me earlier. But anyways, so we're going to go ahead and go right to the questing phase because screw that noise. All right, so during the questing phase, I'm going to pay 1 off of Celeborn here. That's 1. We're going to play Sneak Attack again. And we're going to sneak attack in Gandalf again. Now in this case, I could lower my threat by 5, you know, that kind of thing. I'm going to draw 3 more cards. And there's a bunch of, another handoff, but there's a bunch more cards. Anyways, this goes to discard, boom, and it's going to stay in play. So we're going to start questing. So in this case, I will have to kneel him to quest. But he's in a risky territory. There are cards in that deck that can really kill him in one shot, so I'm kind of hesitant about questing with him. But I will quest with Gandalf, because he comes into play, and he doesn't have to worry about it. So we'll quest with him. We'll quest with the guide. She only gives +1 at the moment, but that's fine. And I'm going to throw Galadriel's +4 down on Gandalf over here, giving him 8. So look at that, it's 9 coming through. I could go with that, but man, I would be so sad if he gets killed from a dumb effect that I can't stop at the moment. If I had one more resource, I could. But anyways. Yep, you know, I'm not going to take the risk because, you know, what's an extra turn, honestly. So we got 8 on Gandalf because of 4 from her, and he has 4, and as well as 1 from her. So let's go ahead and reveal. All right, so it's Forest Gate. It's a really useful card for me, and only 2 threats. So really at 6 from him, 1 from there. That's 7 points goes on this. Which means it's almost completed. And I get to travel here. So because I'm going to travel here, I get to draw 2 cards. Because why not, right? And I get a bunch of stuff. Okay, well, that's the end of that. So at the end of questing, I guess he's going to come back to my hand. And we're going to start another round. So this is definitely going to be the final round. So this is, you're not going to really get to see the deck in action. But yeah, whatever. You know, it's working. So I'm going to use. I'm going to just. Yeah, sure. I'm just going to spend some resources here off Galadriel. 1, 2. We're going to drop in the Handmaiden. She's kind of cool. And of course, she gets all these buffs to her stats. And I reduce my threat by 1. That's cool. What else am I going to do here? Well, I got a bunch of different options I can do. Yeah, why not? I'll throw her down too. It's another defender. It costs 3. So 1 off here and 2 off here. And all of her stats are boosted up as well. So, all right, let's continue on. So we're going to quest. We're going to questing. We're going to be questing with her as well. Questing with her. And we're going to throw her +4, which can go to anybody, right? To another character. So we're going to throw that +4 down on her. I know that sounds silly, but that's what we're doing. So she has 5 because she's got +1 from that, and she doesn't exhaust to quest. And she got +1 because she just came into play with that. So she's got 3. She's got 4 willpower and a 1. So let's find out what the card is. All right, the card is Great Force Web, which would exhaust if I wanted to travel there. Chances are I'm not going to travel there because the game is probably over at the moment. So let's see. We're going to see here now. We got 2 here. Actually, probably not over yet. Well, we'll see. We got 2 here. So we're going to subtract 2. We'll subtract 2 from Galadriel, who's given it to that. So that'll be only contributing 2. So it's 2 here plus the 1 is 3. Plus her 3 is 6, 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be gone. And the carryover, 5, 6, 7. So that'll complete that quest. So that would be the end. So in this case, we've just completed fairly easily. And in fact, I could have let this game go a lot further. And I'm pretty sure my threat would have went down a lot more if I used Gandalf in different ways. But anyways, in this case, we beat the game. I'm not going to hold up my score or anything like that. So now you can kind of see a bit of how this deck works, how this game is played, and how much fun it can be. If you wish to, you can go ahead and subscribe below. Give me a comment. If you have any suggestions about my deck, please let me know. You can please comment underneath this or visit my website at rpgbg.blogspot.com. And if you like this and other videos, I can certainly post them up, but I won't post any up unless I get too... if I don't get any views or any likes, I guess I won't be needing to post anything else. So let me know. Let me know you like this. Let me know you want to see some more. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people doing this stuff online, and I'm just one person, so we'll see. Also, if you want to, hit me up to play a game of Lord of the Rings, the card game, LCG on Octagon. I'm still kind of new at it, as you can probably tell, and I might play differently than you, but you can teach me the ropes, and I'll be most grateful. And you can find me on Google Plus as well. I'm on Google Plus. My name is Jason. You can see my link with Google Plus accounts on my YouTube account. So just click my name and you should see it there. Cool. If you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, you can email me or go on the Facebook page. Is probably the best way to contact me. But you can email me at vandeala@gmail.com or rollingtentions@gmail.com. Or the best way to do it, like I said, is go to the Facebook group, Rolling Intentions, on the Facebook, and just go ahead and post stuff. Go ahead and leave your own deck ideas, because show me what's better, because I really don't know. And yeah, we will see you on the flip side. Goodbye.